Hey, what's up, everybody? Jay here, and doing Big Brother season 27, episode 25. Doing a quick little recap. Just did a little heat check because, like I said, I've been watching the season. I hadn't done a lot of recaps just because it wasn't really moving the way I wanted it to. So I was waiting to this point to really kind of get down into it. So episode 25 starts with the fallout from last week. We had Catherine go home. She left under Vinny's head of household. So that went on. So now we have the competition that they do. It was one where they had to, it was a true or false competition where they had to remember certain aspects of, events through the house and whatnot. But prior to this, you have Keanu kind of befriend Rachel again. They kind of start to, talk and try and work over their stuff after they're kind of, a little bit of friction they had last week with, him trying to get Vinny to put Rachel up. And even though they started the frenemies and whatnot, you have the judges. They're still trying to kind of figure their stuff out. Then you have, Kelly, who had to take herself off the block after Vinny put her up with the whole them being final two, all this stuff, which led to eventually Catherine being sent home. So they do their competition for HOH, and we get finally Keanu is the head of household, which I personally kind of excited for because I wanted to see how he would actually do with actually having the power and having the ability to make certain decisions versus trying to influence other people's decisions. And he's been a fierce competitor, and his social game has been hit or miss, but good enough, I'll say. So it came down to Keanu and Rachel. Keanu wins. So now everybody's up in arms because who's Keanu going to send home? Right off the bat, he's like, hey, I'm going after Morgan. Which I understand. Morgan, she's been doing her social game, but she's been a light floater, I'll say. She hasn't won any competitions, any head of households, vetoes, anything like that. But I will say she's been a little bit more active than others in the social game, and I'll get to that in a moment. So that's his target. So then he talks to Vinny, and I'm so tired of Vinny crying. He tries to weasel his way out of his decisions. He doesn't stand on any business. So he goes to Keanu and they're one-on-one and he's crying and please don't put me up. And, I really want him to go home because I just think I just hate seeing a grown man cry like that for sympathy for decisions that you made. Especially a game. It's not like real life implication type thing. It's game. I get it. You can win money and stuff, but he had his fate in his own control and he did that. So Keanu tells him, you burnt me too many times, 3 times for sure. If I let you burn me again, then it's on me. So no, you're going on the block. So you got that. You got Morgan and Vinny for sure going on the block. So now it comes down to his third choice that he has to make. He has Ava to consider because she put him on the block and everything during her HOH. He has Mickey to consider with her game and whatnot, and she's a big target. And then also Rachel. He can still, try and go after Rachel with her being, as much of a power as she is in the house. So outside of that, before I get to his nominations, I want to talk about the floaters of the house really quickly. There are 3 people, but mainly 2. I count Lauren as a floater just because she doesn't do a lot, but she has won a head of household competition. So to me, that kind of nullifies her already, the same way he does for Ava. I don't necessarily see them as floaters, even though they do, they do float under the radar. But Will and Ashley I don't see how Ashley's still in the game, honestly. At least Will is he's not in the midst of things. He kind of say I guess that's the ultimate spectator type of floater. But Ashley is always kind of in the background of things going on. She always has a say. She always gets caught talking about people like she did with Ava when she was in bed and stuff like that. No, that was Lauren. She did that to Kelly. I really want Ashley to go home, but one of those two, They floated through this whole game, have won absolutely nothing, have done horrible in all of the competitions. So I'm hoping that one of them goes next week. I highly doubt this week. But let's get to Keanu's nominations. So, like he said, man of his word, Morgan is up. And as he said, Morgan is his target. He wants Morgan gone because he wants to actually keep Vinny, but he feels Vinny makes dumb decisions for Morgan. Hey, want to hear something, Keanu? If it's not Morgan, it's going to be somebody else. He's going to run to, if it's not Morgan, he'll run to Lauren and make a dumb decision for Lauren. That's just who he is. You know, me personally, if I were him, I would get rid of Vinny, of those two. But Morgan's up, Vinny's up, as he stated. And then for his third nomination, he put up Mickey. I think these are very solid nominations, personally. If I was in his shoes, I would have done the same thing. I would put those three up. It's keeps the house calm, honestly. And then if he wants to backdoor somebody, perfect opportunity after the veto. If he really wants to go after Rachel, which I could see him doing, he just has to know that it'll work. That's where the veto competition comes in to backdoor her, obviously, as we all know, watching Big Brother. So I really think that's the worst thing that could happen is he do that and then she takes herself off. You know, so that's why I don't think he'll make that move, because that would mess around and be the one time where Rachel would, win the BB Blockbuster. So, but yeah, so those are his nominations. I think they're really good nominations. I think he did good as far as his head of household, as far as, and he even said that he wanted to be transparent and honest with people, and he was. I think that'll vote very well in the juror house if he were to make it to the final two, that he did do that. So, I think, for me personally this week, Keanu he's had probably the best head of household, I think, to this point. Just to the nomination point. We'll see how it goes forward. I don't think he was overbearing with anybody. He wasn't mean to anybody. He wasn't being conniving. Really solid head of household for Keanu. So he would be the top, I guess you could say, household guest for this episode to me. And we'll see what happens next episode. With the veto. You got Mickey up there, and she's been a beast as far as competitions. Like I said, Morgan hasn't won anything, and when Vinny has needed to, he has come through for himself. So we'll see what happens. But that was episode 25 of Big Brother. And as you see, I got the head of household, the nominees over there, and we'll see what happens. We'll see who gets the veto. We'll see who wins the BB Blockbuster. We'll see who gets sent home. Whoever gets sent home will be the first guest of the jury house. So there we go. But hey, this is Jay. Stay tuned for the next episode.